Welcome to Guiding You Home with Terry Barr. We'll bring you exclusive interviews with the nation's top real estate experts, successful investors, and industry insiders. Whether you're buying, selling, or just love real estate, our guests share their insights, tips, and stories to help you navigate the market. Stay tuned for valuable advice and inspiring journeys that will help you find and sell your perfect home. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Guiding You Home. I'm your host, Terry Barr, and I'm here with a fantastic guest. This guest is she's a leader at Coldwell Banker. She's VP of Marketing for Coldwell Banker, and her name is Lindsay Listanski, and I love her. She's great. She's full of energy, and she's I've seen her a few times at some of the Coldwell Banker events, and I said, and I need to get her on because she's dynamic, and she is a leader. She is a wife. She's a mom of 3 little boys, pair of twins. She's all over the world. There, one of her statements was, "She's a joyful mix of chaos, laughter, and logistics." I mean, that hits it right on the spot. So, welcome in, Lindsay. Thanks for being with us on Guiding You Home.
I am thrilled to be here. That was an awesome intro, and I'm laughing thinking about what a full house I really have.
I was shocked when you said I'm married, I have 3 kids, and I'm like, what are you doing at these events? How do you have time to get out and relax? So that's pretty amazing that you have.
I sleep deeply on work trips, very deeply.
I bet. Well, I appreciate you coming on again. I want to welcome you and just give you a little bit about Lindsay, the woman. We see you in the professional settings, but people that see this within Coldwell Banker may not know your personal situation, your personal story. Give us a little about who you are and what's important to you.
Yeah, well, the most important thing is 100% family. Family first above everything. And I really try to facilitate a culture of that in my own team of 150 people. I'm an only child, which means I am super close with my parents. They're the most important people in my life and always have been. And I think, they instilled so much at such a young age in me, personally and professionally, that has brought me to where I am today. Mom of 3 means I'm always on the go. We either eat dinner at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 9 o'clock at night because we're always at some type of sports event. Right. I married my college sweetheart. We were both business majors at Marywood University. And I joke that he won me over because he used to buy all my sorority chocolate bars. And that was my first crack at entrepreneurialism. And then, the thing about me is I was born into real estate. So I was just talking to someone at Gem Blue Vegas, and I was like, I think there was probably a Coldwell Banker card in my bassinet because I really was raised within this company. My dad's been a manager for the company for 40 years. My mom, an agent. So this brand is near and dear to my heart. Real estate is incredibly important to me. And being in the position I am now with the company that I'm with, being Coldwell Banker Realty, is truly, truly a dream come true.
Yeah, I bet. I read that. Mom, Dad's been in it for 40 years. Mom's was an agent.
Yep,
and,
she's an agent.
She's an agent. And here you are growing up within the real estate world. And to come to find out, you get out of college and you end up with Coldwell Banker. I mean, that's got to be like pinching yourself stuff.
It's crazy to me. I remember I was, probably 10 years old. Welcome to Coldwell Banker. How may I help you? Like really playing secretary and, sitting in on office meetings, going to listing appointments. And you absorb so much as a kid, right? Like watching your parents do business. And it's really crazy that this is where the path has led me. There was no point in college where I was like, I'm going to go work for Coldwell Banker. I loved and respected the company, but the fact that it worked out the way that it worked out just really could not have been a greater story for me.
So how long have you been with Coldwell Banker? Tell me that.
Officially 14 years. So
14 years.
I started as our first ever social media manager back in 2011.
So you're right on the cusp of social media. And when everybody said, hey, it's coming, we got to be part of it. So,
I was like mad in college that they weren't teaching about it. So I had an internship my senior year and I was doing SEO and copywriting. And I said to my boss, hey, why don't we pretend we're a person as a Facebook page, but use it as the business? And I was like, there's something to this. Why are we not talking about this in college? So grew up with it, digital native. And that really was my entry into this company saying like, I totally get this space and I get real estate. Give me a shot at doing this. I think I could do something really big for the company.
So you had an opportunity to kind of pitch the wares of social media to Coldwell Banker Realty or Coldwell Banker. I guess it's anywhere now, but it's something else when you started. But so you had the chance to go ahead and pitch that to them. How was that accepted back at day one? Did they?
Such a great question. So like 24-year-old Lindsay's standing up in front of agents being like, there's this really exciting, cool thing you should pay attention to. And there was, of course, early adopters were like, I get where she's going with this. But a lot of probably my first year was proving that this wasn't a trend. The benefit that I had was having the language that I grew up in with my parents, where I understood recruiting, retention, lead generation, and being able to put the value of social media into a real estate business acumen was where I started winning not only agents, but also people at corporate were like, she gets this. She knows that if we run this campaign, we're going to increase brand awareness, or we can land a big recruit like this by saying, hey, we have someone in the brand that knows how to do this. So it definitely took some time to build momentum, but I think the early advantage I had versus some other people was that I could connect the business results and the high level picture pretty early on.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think everybody, it doesn't matter what's coming, like AI is coming. We'll talk a little more about that. But, social media is one of those things where it seems like you went, I think there's something there. How did you convince yourself that you were right? I mean, anytime you're on the cusp of something like that, how do you say, you know what? I think I'm a leader in this space here. And how do you convince that, there is something here? I mean, how did you know that going?
It's always been data. The reason I've been successful in every position I've had at Coldwell Banker is because I've always leaned on data. I don't ask people to trust my instinct. I show them.
Sure.
I show them in numbers. Whether it was showing them increase in clicks back to our site or just qualitative, like, hey, I got this email from an agent who was blown away and they really want more of this. That quantitative and qualitative approach didn't have me asking people, hey, trust me. I was able to really show them through, research and data and case studies.
Yeah, that's real interesting. I know that at my age now, I always say this. For some reason, I want to tell people how old I am, but I'm 61 this week. Yeah, I'm 61.
Happy birthday!
Yeah,
When's your birthday?
Happy birthday. The 8th. Yeah.
Oh, my husband's the day after you. He's the 9th.
Oh, really? My niece is the 9th. She gets all the attention, so I tease everybody that she's the. We go to her parties, and Uncle Terry gets left out. So
happy birthday, Uncle Terry.
We have fun with that.
The best, happiest birthday.
Yeah. But at my age, I was kind of in between. Like I was in business in my 20s, 30s, and 40s before social media. I had one of the first cell phones that ever. So I was kind of in the middle of, I did without, and then social media came, and I thought, man, I gotta understand this.
Yeah. How
do you tell that story to the agent that's perhaps doesn't have an acumen for it, but how do you convince them, you don't have to do it all, but do something, help your own brand by being out there. What's that conversation look like?
Yeah, well, I think fast forward to present day today with AI, rewind back to social media, agents are busy. Anytime you can tell them I can make you more efficient and I can give you time back, they're like, yeah, give it to me, especially if you could save money. So with the agents, my approach was kind of multi-pronged of I can give you a way to get to more people faster than you've ever gotten to them. I can give you a way to track how successful you are in a way that you've never done it. And I can do it for cheaper. So I can get you in front of 1,000 people in your neighborhood for, $25, and you can probably get it done in 10 minutes or less. So instead of you sitting at the table at night stuffing your envelopes that who knows if someone opened it or not, I can actually show you the ad that you ran either got clicks or it didn't. And hey, guess what? If you started to run it and it wasn't doing well, you can
cut it off.
Configure, right? Whereas you put something in the newspaper or the local Tribune, it's out there. You made a typo, it's out there. Nobody read it. Maybe they did. But the fact that it saved them time, it was trackable, affordable, and just like massive, broad reach. Again, like I'll make your life easier and simpler and just better.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Coldwell Banker, obviously we know it's a legacy brand. It's been around for over 110 years. That's like 115 or 16 years. Yeah, it's just amazing. But the thing that really is surprising to me at some level, but really comforting me at some level, is that we're on the cutting edge of everything. And we provide our agents so much that they can have there's 100 ways to do business here, right? So that you guys provide us so much on the marketing standpoint. Tell us about how a legacy brand like Coldwell Banker has stayed out front for so many years and hasn't got, I know there's other companies out there that are making waves, but hasn't got complacent and has been able to stay in front.
It's a wonderful question. And I think what we do extremely well, our leadership team collectively in the past and present, is we've honored the legacy, but we've never stood still. And I think we've earned trust through consistency, but we show up where people are, whether that's through AI that simplifies an agent's job or campaigns that speak to modern values like diversity and belonging. You see that with Live Well with Coldwell. We have really focused on bringing humanity into innovation. And I think that that's why we've really stood the test of time.
Well, I know marketing, generally speaking, and you can correct me because I'm not a marketer necessarily. I market my brand and I market myself every day, but marketing is authentic storytelling.
Absolutely.
And getting people to say, this is not just a marketing campaign. This is a story. This is a story that tells a story about a brand and really what the essence of that brand looks like. What's the essence of Coldwell Banker and what drives that story for you in the marketing space?
Well, I think the one thing before I get into the brand story that I think we do really well is we also give agents the framework to tell their version of their story. So the brand, to me, gives them credibility, and then the agent gives it color. And that's the magic of Coldwell Banker. We're not forcing Coldwell Banker down our agents' throats. We're saying, hey, this is a compliment to your business. And we really recognize that when local voices amplify a trusted national name, that's what makes a connection unbeatable. So, the things that everybody knows about Coldwell Banker, trust, innovation, integrity, being ethical, all of those things matter. They're important pillars of the stool.
Sure.
But it's when we bring in that local agent level and allow them to complement the power of Coldwell Banker with that individual power, collective strength mentality. I think that's why our story is so incredibly strong and so multi-layered.
How do you communicate that to the local agent that's just coming on to Coldwell Banker, that's looking for, hey, I'm gonna come with Big Blue. I'm gonna come with this legacy brand. I know we've got all these things, all these pillars to success. How do you communicate that to a local agent that's just coming on and help them walk down that path to building their own brand with the support of such a legacy company?
We actually did an entire campaign around this last year. So I remember Comedy Lane called me. I think she was on her way to maybe get her daughter. And she's like, we need to do a better job of storytelling nationally and locally. And it starts with, we are the home to the professional agent. But how are we getting our agents to tell that story confidently, succinctly? And she's like, if an agent had 30 seconds at a grocery store, 3 minutes in an elevator, or 30 minutes at the listing table, how do we get them to tell that story? So we actually launched something last year called Perfect Pitch. And it was this huge concerted effort on getting an agent to line up their story, their brand, get them through design concierge, all of these things so that they could really clearly and confidently tell their story as a local professional. And throughout that process, we were layering in where you would pull the levers of what Coldwell Banker means to you and where it makes sense. Because Coldwell Banker is not one size fits all, right?
Right.
You could be the entry level person who's serving, people who are renting their first apartment up to Jade Mills, who's, just listed this week a $75 million property.
Yeah.
So for her, she's really leaning into the story of global luxury. I play in this upper area of wealth. For someone just starting out, we're just saying, hey, you're the local mom that knows everybody in the PTA. Here's the kind of talk track that you should use to make you approachable and sellable and all those things. So I think Perfect Pitch was a great example of how we're balancing both sides of the story and really giving our agents the confidence to deliver that value prop in any kind of arena that they're in.
Yeah, I like Perfect Pitch. Any business, any sales job or any sales career, there's always an elevator speech. There's always the standing in the line at the grocery store. But what I love about Perfect Pitch and Coldwell Banker, what that brings to the table is what you said. There's so many layers to Coldwell Banker that can make that perfect pitch so robust and meaningful, then, hey, here's what I do. I sell homes to families. Great. I mean, that's a good thing to do, but there's so many layers.
Like it's and that's the other thing that we were saying, I think we are in a really challenging market, right? And like reassurance to buyers and sellers right now that you are a trusted advisor probably has never been more important. And, it'll always be the most important thing. And the thing about perfect pitch that I really like, because everybody's number one, right? Every billboard says I'm the number one agent, according to my mother, whoever, right? Yep. What we were focusing on was clarity over hype. Because people crave honesty. And to us, the most effective message was like, we've seen this before, we'll guide you through it, but we were giving that confidence without any spin. And I think that builds instant credibility and it disarms people. They're like, all right, I have a real person that's not just shoving number one banners in my mailbox, once a week. It's like, I'm a real person. I'm a mom. I'm bilingual. I'm, the dad that coaches on the weekends, whatever. And that's part of my value prop that you're going to get when you sit at the table with me.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. And I think one of the things on brand and consumer trust that I wrote down was there's lots of noise out there, especially recently. And when I mean recently, within the last 6 months to 18 months, there's a lot of noise in the marketing space, in the social media, in the news. And you add AI to that and there's,
forget it.
It's a mess. So people are, their attention spans are shrinking.
Yes.
Because they're deciding, okay, is this real? Is this not real? I'm moving on. They don't get off their phones.
It's hard, by the way.
So how do you capture that? How do you say, look, I'm not AI, I'm a real person. And I think that's what you're doing well. I think that's what you're saying.
Transparency, trust used to be about reputation. Now it's about transparency. Like today's consumer doesn't expect perfection. They expect realness. And that realness is what you're saying is like going away. The best marketing feels like less like a pitch and more like a conversation. And we're really trying to focus on perfect isn't necessary, right? Perfect is overly polished, isn't real. And it's really not what most people even want, truthfully.
Right. Yeah. I think we've done a good job of taking AI and making it the everything to everything. Yes. And, there's literally, you can do anything with AI and that's great. But for the longest time, we've gotten away. We tried to get further and further away from the one-on-one across the table. 100%. And I hear people saying, well, I can do a Zoom call or I can do text or I don't have to go to their house. And I'm saying to them, the baby boomers are the largest group of people. They want to look in the whites of your eyes and see if they can trust you. Yeah. And that doesn't.
And I think millennials and Gen Z do too. I'm a millennial, and if I have something really big going on, I want to sit across from you face to face. I don't want to do a call, a Zoom, a FaceTime. Like I need to read your face, your body language. I need to feel your energy. We are going to get to the process where we overly compensate with AI, and that's going to hurt business relationships. Not even a question in my mind. And even with, Coldwell Banker Realty's field marketing team, I have 150 people on my team. Do we operate in some capacity virtually? Absolutely, because it's efficient. But we feel really strongly that we're still having marketers in the office sitting belly to belly with agents and managers because we know how important that is in terms of support. So some of these other virtual models, are they efficient? Are they more cost effective? Absolutely. Is the level of support what we're providing as a full service brokerage? No way. Not a chance.
Now, how do you cut that cake as a marketing executive? How do you say, okay, we've got 60% we need to be in face to face. What's the guiding light for you or your executive team? What's the guiding light? Hey, we need to get everybody in here for this one. And what's the guiding light for saying, hey, let's jump on Zoom?
I lean on my sales leaders to help me with that, certainly, because every metro is different. Yeah. But I also lean a ton on Power BI data. So when I started in this role as head of marketing for the field 4 years ago, I was like, how do you guys track ROI on time? Because we're spending a lot of time in the field. And how do you know that the time you're spending with agents is even the right set of agents? Like, are you spending time with our top performers, our new agents, all of those things? Are you spending time with the agents and managers that are just really loud and they need you, or are you kind of being more strategic? So over the past 4 years, we've gotten really good at tracking our time and our data to explain, are we hitting our marks in terms of working the right amount with productive agents versus new to business versus luxury. So, going back to what I said earlier is I really lean on that data to help me to make better informed decisions on staffing, the people, my high performers, my low performers, the areas of the country where maybe we're over indexing in because it's a higher growth opportunity for me.
Right.
But I am playing in that data every single week of my position, and it really helps me to be a better leader.
So tell me about that. As far as what is the data telling you nowadays where you need to, I mean, we're still seeing influx of new people to business. What's your data telling you as far as how much time you're spending and should spend with new to business, and how much time you should spend with, I know you spend a lot of effort on the luxury side of things and the hiring for obvious reasons, but what's the breakdown there, just kind of from a statistical standpoint?
Yeah, so I would say the majority of our time is with productive agents. So first through third quartile. The good thing about Coldwell Banker Realty is we don't just have one support team. We have a tremendous amount of support, whether that's from an RSS in the office to a branch manager, to our learning and department team, to our studio for creative, to our product team. So just because I have a marketing team doesn't mean that we have to be the first line of defense always to help the agents. The other thing that we're working on right now is building out, AI support too, so that we can get it to agents even faster. So to answer your question, we over-index on productive. New to business agents, we're starting to funnel more to our learning and development team because, if you don't have a listing, there's a lot to learn, right?
Sure.
There is a foundation in your business that your branch manager, that your learning team should be giving you before you even get to marketing, because you don't even have a listing yet. So, can we help you draft your bio and set up your social and all those great things? Yeah, sure. But we're really starting to get better about routing agents based on where they are in their agent journey, so that we're not just pushing everybody to marketing 24/7. And that's helping us to have a better experience. It's helping agents to feel like, okay, there's a process here that makes sense, and I'm not just getting like ping-ponged around.
Right.
And I see a difference in the quality of the relationships that we're building with our agents. We also did something last year called Agent Advisors. And we had the top performers in marketing pair with top recruits for a 3-month period. And we saw a significant increase in quarter over quarter production because that concerted, we're going to meet every week. There's a cadence of what we're going to teach you about the Coldwell Banker value prop, and you're going to go and you're going to feel super prepared. So we've seen really good results from this approach.
Is that something that you are going to continue to do? Obviously,
for sure.
Is that going to be a service that you're going to make available to agents at a cost, or are you just going to use the matrix of, okay, we're going to take the top quartile and do this with, or is that going to be a someday service that you're going to offer?
I think it is a someday service, but talking about charging is not on the radar right now.
Yeah.
We're a full service brokerage. We want to make sure that everything feels like a value add and not a takeaway. So there is more coming Q1 around this, around our kind of idea of concierge services, because we have a lot of concierge. We have, transaction concierge, design, all of these ideas. So you will see this in a more baked out, kind of like front facing feel. And it's definitely something we're talking a lot about.
Yeah, I know we did. We at least locally, we do have a mentoring program, and we've got 250 agents, and we've got 6 or 7 mentors, and I'm part of that. And I've always felt really strongly about mentoring new agents. Now, I was a stockbroker, financial planner for 10 years, and at one point, and the people that came into our business in that business were thrown against the wall, and you see who sticks. Yeah. And our business is similar to that. It's cheap to get a license. It's easy to get a license.
It is.
And 2 months out of your life, and you're a licensed real estate agent.
Yeah, and you're go.
But go do something. So I would like to see more mentoring. I would like to see more of a platform there. I would like to see more of a top-down push towards put somebody, require them to be on a team for a year or something like that, that gives
I
them
like that concept.
support and teach and mentoring and those kinds of things. Because it's in this day and age,
scary. There's more listings in the country than there are there's more real estate agents than there are listings, which is like a crazy statistic. So I think you're going to really like what Rebecca Thompson and Kim Tran, they're two people in new roles in our learning team. They're focused a lot on this new to business agent. And we're also working on something internally, and I don't know, maybe this is oversharing, but exclusive for your podcast. We have this concept of no closed door. And what we said is no agent at any level in their agent journey should ever feel like with Coldwell Banker support and servicing, they have a closed door. So, if I am marketing can't help you, then I'm certainly going to find who can in the company, whether you're new to business or experienced. And I think us putting so much work into this kind of new strategy the past couple months is really going to come to fruition in the new year in a really positive way.
Yeah, that's good stuff, because I can tell you from our perspective here, we get a lot of folks that come to Coldwell Banker. They start at, discount places and they don't get any support and doors are closed and all of that. We get a lot of folks come our way. And that's always my pitch to them. Look, you can't be at a better place. What they provide to you to do real estate in any way you want to do it is astounding. It's astounding. So, I think you're doing a great job otherwise, but it's exciting to hear there's even a more forward-facing future to that kind of approach.
We meet on it weekly. I mean, this is a major initiative for Comedy for us. And I'm really proud of her vision for being the home to professional real estate. It's like she really gets it. And I really could not be more excited about our future. I just feel like we've never been in a better place.
I enjoyed having a conversation. I had her on the show as well. She's just a fascinating woman, and she's I'm excited to be under her leadership. I know Coldwell Banker does some other things. I want to switch gears a little bit, but Coldwell Banker does some community things. They have some other faces that they put on, and you're part of one of those. I'd like you to tell me about what you jumped in with What Moves Her. Tell the folks what it is and what you do for them and why that's an exciting venture for you.
I would love to. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. So What Moves Her is part of our parent company, Anywhere's initiatives. It was founded by Sue Yannicone 5 years ago. And Sue really saw a gap in the ability for women to not just have a seat at the leadership table, but a voice. And what she set out to do 5 years ago was create a group that helped women to get the resources they needed to have confidence in leadership, whatever that meant, right? Leading a real estate team, leading as a CEO of a brand, whatever part of that journey they needed support in, that was really her vision. And, fast forward 5 years today, as the executive chair, the theme for this year was really around wellness. Because Sue said, you can't be your best self if, all aspects of wellness aren't operating, right? So financial, mental, physical, all of those things. So we have taken this 360 approach to what does wellness for a woman look like and how can we give that to them? Whether that is setting them up with a person who is going to talk about public speaking, right? Like women sometimes struggle with confidence to speak in a room at a listing appointment, whatever. So we bring in speakers. This past month was breast cancer awareness. We had women in the company talking about navigating being a fighter of breast cancer or survivor and balancing a career, really raw things that you're not getting surface level at a normal company. So we've grown that group by the thousands. We have the national chapter, but we also have local chapters throughout the country. And it's really helped women to just feel like they have a tribe. And it's cool seeing the cross-functional support of all of the brands in the Anywhere portfolio coming together. And that's one of the cool things about Anywhere is, are we competitors? Yeah, we're sister brands. But for things like this, man, is there magic in sharing knowledge and resources and masterminding. It's a really cool thing to watch. And from a business perspective, it's helped us with our growth strategy. We sell franchises because of What Moves Her. We recruit agents because of What Moves Her. I had an agent specifically tell me, I joined because I see the level of women in your leadership team. I see the caliber of the women. I see the respect they're given. I want to work for a company like that.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. It's been a long time coming. And quite frankly, from a male perspective, I don't see enough of that even in our own company. I know what moves her is. I don't see any advertising for it. I don't see any
Oh,
marketing for it.
well, my heart.
Well, and it's not to say, but you guys are so forward thinking. I just feel like this should be a major push at some point. Like, hey, the month of April is what moves her month. Maybe you have that, but I haven't seen it.
We need to do a better job of marketing it. So
Yeah, that's not to put you on the spot, but I'm like,
no, it's such good feedback.
I love it. I love it.
Sue's vision, she's so courageous, and when she speaks up, she sees this gap that other leaders maybe see and ignore, or she just sees things in a different way. And you're right, it's such an important part of our business and the way that we operate that I think, you know, not only, I usually say double down on something, we should triple down on this. Like,
it goes
really
hand in glove.
thing.
I mean, it goes with brand, it goes with trust, it goes with all of that.
For sure.
And I have another podcast, shameless plug. It's called Grind to Growth to Greatness. And I have an overabundance of women that have done unbelievable things in their lives in the face of adversity. And it's absolutely breathtaking to hear their stories. And I just think that is the kind of thing that gives the average woman to be able to say to themselves, gosh, I can do this. Like, look, I can do this. I
love that you said that. So, like, to me, every leader of what moves her has left their mark on the legacy. And when I came in, what I said to Sue, first of all, I was like, mom of 3 boys. I'm kind of a tomboy. Like, are you sure you want to pick me to do this? She's like, yes, I want you to do it. I was like, okay. Yeah. One of the things that I really want to focus on is the storytelling aspect and the transfer of knowledge from woman to woman, because that's really powerful. So one of the things that I said is, like, we see these women on like Swanepoel 200 list, or, you know, best marketer, female marketer, whatever. Like, that's great. But, like, what was the path to get there? What was the perseverance? What was the key learnings? So one of the things that I felt really strongly about was the storytelling aspect of the women, of what moves her. So one of the things that we did that has been successful is we launched a podcast, and it really gives us the ability to have women for, 20 to 40 minutes where we can ask them real raw, how did you get there? What advice do you have? What are the key learnings? Just the gold that we were missing before. And that's
what everybody's looking for. They're looking for that gold.
Right? And I mean, these women are dropping dimes and gems of advice where you're like, I would pay to have, anyone like you in my life. And now I'm getting to listen to this. And the thing about all these women in our companies, everyone's so generous with their time. If you ask Sue, can I grab a cup of coffee? Liz Geringer, any of the women in our company, they're like, 100%. Like, tell me when. It might only be for 15 minutes, maybe an hour, but like, there's such a willingness to lift as we rise, and really make sure that we're grooming the next generation of women with everything we can possibly give them to arm them for a successful future and the confidence to want that future for themselves.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I think that speaks to the heart of what a legacy brand should be. And I think that's the heart of what our legacy brand actually is it while we rise, we bring other people with us.
So important.
That is my daily, if my door is always open, you have questions, you need help, there's plenty of business out there for everybody. Let's bring everybody up as we come. And I just think it's wonderful that you specifically, but that our group and our company holds that to high esteem.
So important. I use Lift as we rise, as we rise, probably weekly. And, the other thing that I'll say is I think our senior leadership team is very good at spotlighting, the talent around us. And especially on my team, I'm like, hey, it's really important that you get your shine, that you get your moment. And I think, I'm seeing that on the women on my team to the women underneath them where, a decade ago, there was a cattiness. There was a like dog eat dog kind of vibe in business in general, I feel like. And I don't know if it's a generational thing. I don't know what the change has been, but I've seen this much more collaborative rather than competitive approach to business in women, especially in real estate. And it is like the most refreshing thing. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. My opinion on that is that women have had to do more to be looked at equal in business for years. And that's the way it was and the way it is. And that creates a very intense, you called it cattiness, but a very intense approach to just normal business.
Yeah.
And this is a kind of business, real estate. I think women have the upper hand. I think they have an advantage. And I think if utilized well and professional, you can be anything you want to be in this real estate business.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So tell me what moves you.
My family, my kids.
Yeah.
Everything I do is for my family. Literally every aspect of who I am is for my family, without a question. I mean, and this was like such a great moment last year. I have mom guilt when I travel, and I travel a good amount, and I feel bad about it. But I also love that they see me as a woman that can kind of have it all. And I love that they see a husband who supports their wife in a career and can hold it down while she's away. But one of my oldest son's teachers last year goes, I just want to let you know your son was bragging about you to his classmates today. And I was like, really? What was he saying? And she said he was talking about how mommy gets on stage in front of these thousands of people and how cool it is and how proud. And I was like, oh my God, that's my why. Like the fact that he values that and thinks it's cool. And, you know, my kids will sit and watch a podcast that I was on or watch a video or look at pictures of, you know, me at Gem Blue and like, they love it. And I think that that's such a cool fuel for even more of my why.
Yeah. Right now it's mommy on stage, and years from now, it's going to be mom's legacy.
I hope so.
And so what is that legacy that Lindsay wants to bring to the real estate business, whether it's Coldwell Banker or in general? You're really bought in, you're in up to your ears. So tell me about the legacy you'd like to see left behind by you when the day comes that you retire from real estate.
Wow, that's such a deep, great question, and I love it. I think my legacy, and maybe this goes all the way back to my roots in social media, but like, I think that I made the industry feel more human and that I showed what's possible when marketing stops shouting and people really connect at a human level, whether that's, you know, the way that someone shows up digitally or in person, but you know, heart and storytelling are incredibly important components of marketing. And if I help my agents to do that better, make it more fun for them, then that's a beautiful legacy, in my opinion.
Yeah. So on a personal level, what's the legacy that how do you want you've already talked about your kids, but how do you want your husband to look at you as a woman, wife, and businesswoman?
The way I want my husband to think about my legacy, that's such a good question too.
Yeah. Or even look at you. I mean, what does he say when he looks at Lindsay? What do you want him to see?
I think he wants to see me more. Actually, he says this all the time. He's like, I wish that you would slow down and realize how great you are, and like realize like how proud I am that you make it look really easy to keep all these balls up in the air when I see the chaos and the, you know, craziness behind the scenes. And he says, like, I just wish that you could just appreciate how you do this, how you approach being a mom, how you approach being a wife, you know, like little things at night. He's like, you've got the kids, like we just had Halloween. He's like, you have everything lined up. You're going to be at the kids' parades. You have the costumes. You have the plans for after. Like, he's like, you do that all while, you know, going through a full day of work and getting ready to leave, you know, in a couple of days. Like, I just think that that's like part of my normal every day. And I guess I don't think of it as like juggling or I don't know, but he constantly says like, I just wish you would look in the mirror and be like, wow, you're killing it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's cool because I think your story, as much as we've focused on your abilities and your leadership at Coldwell Banker, your story is also something that can be inspirational for young ladies that are either coming out of school or are already real estate agents or already moms and want a career. And so I would encourage you to tell your story, find an elevator speech for that and tell that so that other young ladies can benefit from that. But if you're going to have the ears of obviously the Coldwell Banker ladies, but people that may see this that aren't in our world, what kind of advice would you give young women in today's world?
I would say be as vulnerable as you can in asking for help. That was something I really struggled with as a young person. You know, I was very often the youngest woman in the room in business. And I, for a very long time, thought that asking questions was a sign of weakness. And when I got over that hurdle and realized like asking for help, looking for mentors, having people as a sounding board, being vulnerable, those are signs of intelligence and strength, actually. So I would say to women, like, find as many people as you can in the space where you can ask questions and feel comfortable. Stay coachable, stay curious. Like, that is going to really get you ahead of the game.
This episode is brought to you by Terry Barr Real Estate. We specialize in distinctive real estate and proudly serve Pennsylvania, Northern Virginia, and Maryland. Our mission? Guiding families home. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, our expert team is here to provide personalized service and unmatched expertise. Discover your dream home with Terry Barr Real Estate, where your journey home is a story worth telling.
Yeah, I like that. Be coachable, be curious. Curious is something I want to be all the time. Even as a 61-year-old, I want to be curious about everything because that just builds my toolbox, if you will. And because you're a marketing girl, Lindsay, I have to end with a question.
Yeah.
If you have the agent in your office and they've got 1 hour a week to market, where would you point them? Where should they focus to start with? Right
now, I would say spend majority of your time getting really good at AI. I feel like I've been sending people to ChatGPT and Copilot and sending them to master classes. Like, I feel like agents that are going to own the future are going to give the time and respect to what AI can do for them.
Yeah.
Like, it's the ultimate game changer to me. And I think, we can give you everything from a Coldwell Banker perspective, a marketing perspective, but sure. I generally believe, and I think this is why Coldwell Banker agents will stand out, because we're giving them the tools for prompt engineering and how to use AI. But I genuinely think that that's going to be the thing that sets agents apart right now. I do.
Okay.
It won't replace them ever, but the agents that don't leverage it they might get replaced.
They might get run over. Yeah, they might get run over. Yeah. I always say focus on your circle of influence and how you can approach that circle of influence, whether it's AI, whatever you can do to market to your circle of influence is probably the best place to be. And I think what you're saying is absolutely true, is AI has changed. I've been an AI expert for a month and it's changed the way my day is. It's changed the way I look at marketing. And, for an old guy, I could put together stuff on these little apps and I don't have problems being on camera. So it's been fantastic for me and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thanks for being on the show. Be willing to be vulnerable, be willing to share all your thoughts and your experience with whomever the audience is here. And I hope that they get lots of interesting takes from this. So any final words?
In real estate, I think one of the most important things is don't try to do it all. Just be trusted, and the biggest thing in real estate is your integrity and being the trusted advisor, and protect that with everything in your being.
That's good advice to end on. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for being here and thanks for watching Guiding You Home. Look forward to seeing you at our next guest. We have a great AI specialist from Hawaii coming on next. So wait for her. She's going to be a real fun interview. So thanks for being here on Guiding You Home. See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Guiding You Home. We hope our expert guests have provided valuable insights for your real estate journey. Remember, every home has a story, and we're here to help you write yours. Until next time, happy home hunting.